Thank you. Also, if you do buy a book, the proceeds go to the Austin Community College Scholarship Fund for the Creative Writing Department. So it's a good cause. Next we have Margaret Hoover reading from her nonfiction piece, The Strangest Requests.
This is a strange story I didn't expect to be reading in front of my entire family, so feel free to laugh so you can drown out the home videos. Like most people who spend copious amounts of time on the internet, I was familiar with the furry subculture. But I may have been more acquainted than most. By 5th grade, I was already lurking around art websites posting MS Paint scribbles of foxes and cats, and I naturally found myself friends with people who did the same. Years later, my friend circle was largely populated by artists drawing animals standing on 2 legs. It didn't take long for me to hook onto the casual term furry, which refers to not only to the fandom at large, but each individual member and their personal animal characters. After years of drawing furries, using the label to describe myself, and tackling the task of cultivating the perfect animal character to function as my persona, earning money through the hobby seemed like the natural progression. I started to spend a large portion of my time polishing my profile on Furfinity, a popular social media website with a bare-bones black layout that essentially functions as an online art gallery in the hopes of attracting a few customers. My art had generated a modest buzz on other social media sites, but I knew if I wanted my work to really bring in the cash, I'd have to walk among the furries. Furries are the modern-day Medicis, generous, wealthy patrons fueling the production of sometimes hundreds of pieces to further the iconographic legacy of their personas. A shocking amount are programmers, engineers, and doctors, and even the ones who aren't in high-paying jobs often dedicate all of their pocket money to buying art of their original characters. It only took a few weeks of having my art up before I had reliable customers who would stay with me for years, making larger and larger purchases and never wavering when my prices rose. I sometimes test the waters and give a high price for work, expecting the customer to haggle. Not once did anyone ever ask for a discount. The level of politeness, which led people not to try to lower a price, even if it was explicitly stated that they were welcome to do so, gave me quite a bit of luxury. I was an unreliable teenager attempting to regulate my own work schedule and do school at the same time, so I'd regularly get behind on my commission work. In the 3 years I've been doing it, I got maybe 3 questions asking why the commission had been late, and only 1 request for a refund. In most jobs, you don't get an opportunity to give your customers sob stories or vastly miss the assumed deadline of a few weeks. And if you do, you certainly won't be keeping your money. But working in what is essentially the local mom and pop store of the art industry, you develop a dedicated base of people who seem to view you as a friend. For me, the most reliable of these was a mysterious fox named Gratis. Gratis had a real name, a mundane one, that I saw each time his payment arrived in my PayPal account. But I always returned to calling him Gratis, the nonsense nickname I pulled from his Furfinity username. I have to imagine that this is what he wanted, as he listed no names in the description box that adorns the top of every Furfinity user page. While his profile was blank of name, age, or gender, it was filled to the brim with art he purchased of his original characters. It wouldn't be out of line to guess that the total cost of his pages-long gallery of art was well into the thousands. When he first requested a piece from me, he wasn't nearly as prolific. His legacy began when he commented on my page asking for an icon, a staple of any profile. Without a cutesy animal staring at its visitors, his and any account would seem blank, ominous. Maybe precisely because I was one of the first people he received art from, we seemed to grow a sort of silent loyalty to one another. He never prodded to be friends or push boundaries, but he would regularly thank me for being so generous and kind. On Christmas, he linked me an expensive-looking piece of art he commissioned for me, informing me that it was to thank me for being so kind to him. On Christmas, oh wait, no. I'm so sorry. This was absurd to me. He bought me a gift in exchange for art he paid me to draw. Another time, he sent me an email asking me if he could send me some money as a tip. Like any other desperate artist, I jumped to give my blessing, but I was shocked when he sent over $100. Gratis was a big enough part of my life that my boyfriend knew him by name, and I could recognize any of his characters when they pop up on another artist's profile. He was already one of my best customers, but by that point, he was my absolute top priority.